The dusty ground of Kepler 442b never stopped burning under the twin suns. Dr. Kim Hana wiped sweat from her forehead as she bent over another sick child. The little boy's ribs showed through his thin skin. His breathing came in short, painful gasps. "When did he last eat?" Hana asked the child's mother. 3 days ago, the woman whispered. Her name was Park Soo-jin. She had been a teacher on Earth before the war. Now she cleaned alien waste systems for 12 hours a day. The food rations were cut again. Hana checked the boy's pulse. Too fast, too weak. She had seen this before. Malnutrition mixed with the lung disease that spread through all the human camps. The alien air recyclers pumped out just enough oxygen to keep humans working, but not enough to keep them healthy. "I'll give him some medicine," Hana said. She knew it wouldn't help much. They had almost no real medicine left, but she had to try. The medical tent was hot and crowded. 30 sick humans lay on thin mats. Most were children or old people. The healthy adults were all working in the mines, digging rare metals for their alien masters. Hana was one of only 2 doctors left in the entire camp of 5,000 humans. 23 years ago, she had been Captain Kim Hana of the Earth Defense Fleet. She commanded a medical ship with 300 crew members. They saved lives across the solar system. Now she worked with broken equipment in a tent that leaked when it rained. The war had lasted only 6 months. The consortium came from deep space with ships bigger than cities. They had weapons that could crack planets in half. Humanity fought back with everything they had. It wasn't enough. Earth burned for 3 days straight. The oceans boiled. The cities melted. 9 billion people died in the first week. The survivors were scattered across dozens of worlds, all of them harsh and unforgiving. The aliens called it resource redistribution. They needed workers for their mining operations. Dr. Kim called Lee Min-ho from across the tent. He had been her assistant for 10 years now. Before the war, he was studying to be a surgeon. Now he mostly held dying people's hands. "The alien patrol is coming." Hana looked up. Through the tent flap, she could see the tall gray figures of the Karathi guards. They walked on 4 legs and had 2 extra arms. Their skin looked like rough stone. They carried weapons that could turn a human into ash in seconds. The lead guard entered the tent. His name was Overseer Zetka. He looked around at the sick humans like they were broken machines. "Productivity in mining sector 7 is down," he said. His voice came through a translator box that made all emotions sound flat. "These humans need less medical care and more work motivation." "They're sick," Hana said. She had learned not to show fear around the aliens. Fear made them enjoy their power more. "They need food and rest." "They need to work," Zetka replied. "Medical supplies will be cut by half. The weak ones will be moved to the outer stations." Hana's blood went cold. The outer stations were death camps. Humans sent there never came back. The aliens said they died in mining accidents, but everyone knew the truth. The outer stations were where humans went when they became too expensive to keep alive. "These are children," she said. "Children who cannot work are worthless," the alien said. "Selection begins tomorrow." After the guards left, Hana sat in silence. Around her, sick humans coughed and wheezed. Some were crying softly. They all knew what selection meant. Min-ho sat down beside her. "Maybe some of them will survive the outer stations," he said quietly. "No," Hana replied. "They won't." That night she walked outside the camp. The alien guards let her go a few hundred meters beyond the fence. They knew she wouldn't run. There was nowhere to go on this dead world. She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, or what was left of it. The aliens said it was still burning, still poisoned. They said humans would never see their home again. Most humans in the camp had given up hope. They worked, they ate what little food they were given, and they waited to die. The children born in the camps had never seen blue skies or breathed clean air. They didn't know what they had lost, but Hana remembered. She remembered the feeling of commanding a starship. She remembered saving lives instead of watching them slip away. She remembered when humans traveled between the stars as explorers, not as slaves. I will not abandon those who cannot fight for themselves, she whispered. It was the oath she had taken as a medical officer 25 years ago. The words felt empty now, but she spoke them anyway. Tomorrow, she would watch alien guards take children away to die. She would continue treating the sick with medicine that barely worked. She would watch her people fade away one by one, until there was nothing left of humanity but scattered bones on alien worlds. But tonight, she remembered. And in the darkness between the artificial stars, that felt like something worth holding on to. The message came at 3 a.m. Dr. Kim Hana was checking on a fever patient when her old communication device beeped softly. She almost ignored it. The camp's communication system rarely worked, and when it did, it only brought bad news from the alien overseers. But something made her look. Hidden in the routine supply reports and work schedules, she found a strange pattern. Numbers that didn't belong, coordinates that led to empty space, and 4 simple words. Children of Earth, remember. Hana stared at the message until her eyes hurt. It had to be a mistake. Or maybe a trap set by the aliens to catch humans planning something stupid. But the coordinates were real. She had navigated space for years before the war. These numbers pointed to a dead system 3 light-years away. 3 days later, Park Dongwoo appeared in her tent like a ghost. Hana dropped the medical scanner she was holding. Dongwoo had been an intelligence officer before the war. Smart, careful, and completely loyal to humanity. She had watched his transport ship explode during the evacuation of Titan Station. She had written his name on the memorial wall herself. You're supposed to be dead, she whispered. I am dead, he said with a thin smile. So are about 3,000 other humans who officially died in mining accidents, transport crashes, and equipment failures over the past 20 years. He activated a small device that created a shimmering field around them. Suddenly, the sounds from outside the tent became muffled. The device was alien technology, but modified somehow. We've been recruiting, Hana, Dongwoo said. Every outer station, every mining world, every place they send humans to die slowly. We take the ones who are willing, the ones who remember what we used to be. He showed her pictures on a handheld screen. Humans working in hidden bases carved from asteroids. Ships that looked like a mix of human and alien design. Workshops where people in spacesuits built things she didn't recognize. How many? She asked. Enough, he said. The aliens think they're sending humans to die in the outer systems. Instead, they're sending them to us. Every transport that disappears. Every mining accident that kills exactly the right number of people. Every equipment failure that happens at just the right time. Hana thought about all the humans who had been relocated over the years. Thousands of them. Maybe tens of thousands. The outer stations are recruitment centers. The consortium sends us their problems, and we turn those problems into solutions. Dongwoo leaned closer. We need doctors, Hana. Real doctors who remember military training and can work with new technology. What kind of technology? The kind that was supposed to be destroyed when Earth fell. Quantum computers, nanomachines, weapons that think for themselves. His smile became dangerous. The aliens never found these projects because they didn't exist yet. But 20 years hiding in the dark gives you time to make impossible things work. Hana looked around her tent. At the broken medical equipment held together with spare parts. At the children who would be selected for death tomorrow. At the life she had been living for over 20 years. When do we leave? And she asked. Tonight. There's a mining transport scheduled for the outer rim. 14 humans are listed as casualties of a tunnel collapse that will happen in 6 hours. He handed her a small device. Equipment malfunction. Very sad. And the children here? Will be free or they'll be dead. But they won't be slaves anymore. Dongwoo's voice carried years of anger and planning. The consortium taught us that sometimes you have to become what your enemies fear most. As he prepared to leave, Hana grabbed his arm. How many of us are there really? He looked back at her, and for the first time in 20 years, she saw something she had almost forgotten. Hope. Enough to remind them why they needed an entire galactic alliance to beat us the first time. That evening, Hana packed her few belongings. She left detailed medical notes for Minho, though she couldn't tell him. Why? She said goodbye to patients she would never see again. She looked at the children who were supposed to die tomorrow. The tunnel collapse happened exactly when Dongwu said it would. 14 humans were buried under tons of rock and metal. The alien overseers marked them as dead and moved on. They had quotas to meet and didn't waste time on individual casualties. But 14 humans who were supposed to be dead walked onto a transport ship in the darkness. They flew away from the camp, away from the mining world, away from everything they had known for decades. Hana watched through a small window as Kepler 442b grew smaller behind them. She thought about the sick humans she was leaving behind. She thought about Minho, who would have to handle the medical tent alone. She thought about the children who might still be selected for the outer stations. Then she thought about what Dongwu had shown her. The hidden bases, the modified alien technology, the thousands of humans who were supposed to be dead, but were actually preparing for something. "Where are we going?" she asked. Dongwu looked out at the stars ahead of them. To show the consortium what happens when you don't kill your enemies completely. The transport ship disappeared into the darkness between worlds, carrying its cargo of officially dead humans toward a future the aliens never saw coming. The asteroid looked dead from the outside. Just another piece of space rock floating in the darkness between star systems. But when the transport ship docked, Hana saw the truth. The entire inside had been carved out and turned into something impossible. Lights ran along curved walls that stretched for kilometers. Gardens grew under artificial suns. People walked through corridors that should not exist inside a floating rock. 8,000 humans lived and worked in this hidden place they called Haven 7. Admiral Song Ji-hai waited for them at the docking bay. She wore the blue uniform of the Earth Defense Corps with all the proper badges and rank symbols. The same uniform that had been banned by the aliens 23 years ago. The same uniform that meant instant death if any alien saw it. "Dr. Kim," the Admiral said with a warm smile, "I remember your work during the Titan Station evacuation. You saved a lot of lives that day." Hana saluted without thinking. Her body remembered the old ways even after all these years. "Admiral Song, I thought you died in the final battle over Earth." "I did die. So did everyone else wearing this uniform." Song gestured to the other officers around them. "Official death reports are very useful when you need to disappear completely." The tour that followed changed everything Hana thought she knew about humanity's defeat. The workshops weren't just places where humans fixed broken alien equipment. They were advanced laboratories where scientists worked with technology that seemed alive. The medical center had equipment that could regrow lost arms and legs. The weapons section made her hands shake. "The Nexus Project," Song explained, as they stood before a chamber filled with what looked like liquid silver. "The original research was destroyed when Earth fell, but the ideas survived in the minds of our best scientists. We've had 20 years to make those ideas real. What does it do? It makes us better. The aliens build their technology like pyramids. Everything follows. Orders from the top down. Their computers, their weapons, their ships, they all think the same way." Song looked thoughtful. "Human technology was always more flexible. The Nexus takes that flexibility and makes it stronger." Dr. Yoon Taimin came out of the chamber covered in the silver liquid. His eyes had tiny flecks of metal in them now. When he moved, it was too fast and too smooth for a normal human. "The nanomachines bond with human brain patterns," he explained. His voice sounded different, like it had extra tones mixed in. "They don't replace what we are. They make us more than we were. We become faster, stronger, and we can talk directly to alien computers." "Talk to them how?" Taemin walked over to an alien control panel, the same type used in consortium command centers. Without touching anything, he tilted his head slightly. The alien symbols on the screen changed into human writing. "Their security systems think the nanomachines are authorized consortium technology," Song said. "Because in a way they are. We've been very careful about what alien equipment we take and how we use it." Hana watched as Timon moved through the facility. He could control alien machines just by being near them. Doors opened for him. Computer screens showed him information. Security systems ignored him completely. "How many people have done this?" she asked. "About 2,000 so far. The process isn't safe. We've lost good people when their bodies rejected the nanomachines. But those who survive become something new. Something the aliens never planned for. What about the children still in the camps? Every rescue mission brings more families to the outer stations. Every recruitment drive adds to our numbers. The consortium counts their human slaves regularly, but they don't count very carefully." Song's smile turned cold. "They're about to learn the difference between humans and human tools." From the observation deck, Hana could see the full size of the operation. Dozens of ships moved through the asteroid field. They weren't the crude vessels she expected. These ships seemed to change shape as she watched them. Enhanced humans with silver-flecked eyes worked among them, their movements too quick and precise for normal people. "When do we attack them?" Hana asked. "We already have." Song activated a display showing the galaxy. Red dots marked consortium facilities. Green dots marked human bases. There were many more green dots than red ones. "The consortium thinks they're hunting down the last bits of human resistance. They don't know they're surrounded." Hana stared at the display. The truth hit her like a physical blow. "You're not planning to fight them?" "No," Song agreed. "We're planning to remind them why they were afraid of us before. The enhanced humans weren't just hiding and surviving. They had been moving through the galaxy for years, invisible to alien sensors, learning how everything worked. They knew where every important consortium facility was located. They had access to alien computer networks. They could go anywhere aliens could go, and the security systems would never know they were there. The beautiful thing about adaptive technology," Song continued, "is that it learns from every system it touches. We've been learning from alien technology for 20 years. Now we're going to teach them what we've learned." Hana looked around, at the impossible base, at the enhanced humans with their silver eyes, at the ships that could change shape. Humanity hadn't just survived. They had evolved into something the aliens couldn't understand or fight. And soon, the consortium would discover what happened when you thought you had destroyed Earth's children, but you had only made them stronger. The Karathi military base on Vega Prime was supposed to be impossible to attack. Orbital weapons platforms surrounded the planet. Energy shields protected every building. Automated gun systems watched every approach. An entire army of elite alien soldiers guarded the consortium's most important intelligence center. Commander Cho Kyung-soo lay flat in a ventilation shaft 3 kilometers underground. He had been there for 6 hours without moving. The nanomachines in his blood let him stay perfectly still while they mapped every electronic system in the facility. Through the base's own cameras, he could see his team members positioned throughout the complex. The aliens couldn't see them. To the security systems, the enhanced humans looked like authorized maintenance workers performing routine checks. "Phoenix, this is Raven. Everyone is ready," whispered Sergeant Han Yu-jin through their quantum communication system. The system used the facility's own networks to carry their messages. "Copy, Raven. Starting Phase 1. Kyung-soo closed his eyes and connected his mind to the base's environmental controls. To the alien computers, he was just another maintenance program checking air quality. The lights began to flicker in what looked like random patterns. But the patterns were signals to the other enhanced humans. Security cameras developed blind spots at exactly the right moments. Door locks had brief malfunctions. Environmental sensors showed normal readings even as human-sized shapes moved through areas that should have been empty. Intelligence Coordinator Zethmar was reading reports about human resistance activities when his office door opened by itself. He looked up to see a human standing in the doorway. This was impossible. The facility's sensors should have detected any unauthorized person long before they reached the command levels. "Coordinator Zethmar," Kyung-soo said, in perfect Karathi language. His pronunciation was flawless even though the alien language used sounds humans weren't supposed to be able to make. "I have questions about how you process human workers. The alien reached for his emergency alarm. His hand passed through empty air. The nano-machines had created a holographic projection of the alarm, while the real device lay in pieces on the floor. "Your people have been very efficient," Kyung-soo continued in a friendly voice. "About 2.7 million humans have been sent to outer stations over the past 20 years. I want to know what happened to specific individuals. How did you get in here?" Zethmar's voice shook with fear. "The same way we've gotten into 47 other facilities this month." Kyung-soo gestured to the office's security screens. They showed feeds from across the galaxy. Each screen displayed humans moving freely through supposedly secure alien installations. They accessed computers, examined files, and acted like they owned the places. In many ways, they did own them now. "The interesting thing about your security systems," Kyung-soo explained, "is that they're designed to keep normal humans out, but they can't detect enhanced humans who are already inside your networks. Once we're connected to your computers, we can go anywhere your own people can go." The extraction took 8 minutes. Zethmar found himself on a ship he didn't recognize, held by restraints that felt alien but responded to human voices. Around him sat other high-ranking consortium officials, all looking confused and terrified. "Welcome to the Retribution," announced Captain Kang Minji. Her silver-enhanced eyes reflected the ship's display lights. "You're probably wondering how we captured a consortium dreadnought. The answer is simple. We asked your ship's computer nicely, and it decided to help us." Through the windows, the officials could see Vega Prime's defense platforms turning their weapons on each other. The orbital stations that had protected the system for decades were destroying themselves, while the planet's automated defenses fired randomly at empty space. "The beautiful thing about top-down programming," Minji explained, "is that once you control the computers at the top, everything below follows orders without question. Your own technology is helping us tear apart your empire one system at a time." Zethmar found his voice. "What do you want from us?" "Information, locations, access codes, details that will help us find every human who has been sent to die over the years." Minji's smile was cold and sharp. "In exchange, you get to live long enough to see what happens when the hunters become the hunted." Similar scenes played out across the galaxy. Consortium officials vanished from secure locations. Military bases went dark. Automated systems attacked their own creators. The aliens who had once treated humans like cattle now jumped at every shadow, never knowing when the darkness might reach out to take them. But the enhanced humans weren't killing randomly. Each target was carefully chosen. The consortium's most cruel overseers disappeared first. Officials who had shown kindness to human prisoners found themselves protected instead of attacked. The message was clear. This wasn't mindless revenge. This was justice, delivered with surgical precision by people who had learned to become exactly what their enemies feared most. Back at the hidden asteroid bases, more humans underwent the enhancement process. Their eyes took on the silver gleam that marked them as something new and dangerous. Something that had been forged in the darkness between stars, something that remembered what the consortium had done to Earth's children. And as the alien empire slowly crumbled under attacks from within, enhanced humans moved through the galaxy like ghosts, dismantling the systems that had held 1,000 species in chains. The prey had become predators, and they were very, very good at hunting. The consortium High Council chamber was built to make visitors feel small and powerless. The ceiling stretched up into darkness. Massive displays showed the reach of their galactic empire. Seats were arranged to show exactly who was important and who was not. For 1,000 years, this room had been the center of power for half the galaxy. Today, it felt like a tomb. Admiral Song Ji-hai stood in the center of the chamber wearing her Earth Defense Corps uniform, the same uniform that had been banned for 23 years. Around her, the most powerful beings in the galaxy sat in restraints that looked simple, but were made with technology they couldn't understand. "Honored counselors," Song said, her voice carrying clearly through the huge room. "Thank you for accepting our invitation to this meeting." Invitation? Supreme Coordinator Vashati spoke with all three of his heads at once. "You attacked our home worlds. You destroyed our fleets. You turned our own machines against us. Yes, Song agreed calmly. We did. The same way you attacked Earth, destroyed our fleets, and turned our own governments against us 23 years ago. I thought you might see the similarity. The chamber's displays came alive, showing reports from across the galaxy. Consortium military forces were marked in red. Their numbers were dropping every hour. Human-controlled areas were marked in blue. The blue areas were spreading like a disease through the Empire's networks. Impressive, isn't it? Song pointed to the displays. Your own communication systems, your own factories, your own defense, networks, all working together to take apart everything you built. The beautiful thing about adaptive technology is that it learns from every system it touches. Elder Counselor Krethak leaned forward. His species had ruled space for longer than humans had existed. What you describe cannot be possible. Our security systems were designed by creatures who think in straight lines, Song interrupted. You built them to stop normal attacks by normal enemies. But there's nothing normal about humans who spent 20 years learning to think like your machines while keeping the creativity that makes us human. Dr. Yun Taemin entered the chamber. His silver-enhanced eyes caught the light as he moved. In his hands he carried a device that looked like human and alien technology had been melted together and reformed. The Nexus integration is complete, Taemin reported. All major consortium networks are under our control. Military systems, civilian infrastructure, entertainment networks. Everything responds to human commands now. Impossible, whispered Counselor Zethmar. He had been taken from his secure facility weeks ago. The integration alone would take years. It would take years if we were working from outside, Song said with a smile. But we've been inside your systems for more than a decade, learning, growing, adapting. Your own technology helped us prepare for this moment. The chamber fell silent. The aliens began to understand what had happened. Their vast empire was held together by computer networks and automated systems. All of those systems were now controlled by humans. Every ship, every station, every world connected to the galactic network was vulnerable. So what happens now? Song continued. We could do to you what you did to us. Turn your worlds into burning wastelands. Scatter your people across hostile planets. Treat your children like disposable tools. Fear showed on alien faces as they imagined their positions reversed. But we won't, Song said quietly. Because we're not you. The displays changed. Now they showed human medical teams treating alien patients, human engineers fixing damaged alien cities, human teachers working with alien children. The enhanced humans weren't conquering, they were healing. Every official who showed mercy to human prisoners is now under our protection, Song explained. Every world that treated human workers with basic respect has been left alone. Every family that refused to participate in brutalizing our people has been given safe passage to neutral territory. Supreme Coordinator Vashati's heads turned toward each other in rapid discussion. And those who were less merciful? Song's expression became hard as stone. Are learning what it feels like to be on the receiving end. The overseers who sent children to die in mining accidents are now working in those same mines. The officials who ordered the sterilization of human colonies are experiencing the medical procedures they approved. The commanders who burned civilian targets are discovering what it's like to be defenseless. Justice, whispered Elder Counselor Krethak. Justice, Song agreed. Not revenge. Justice. The final display showed Earth, green and blue and beautiful again. Its atmosphere was clear. Its oceans were clean. Its cities were rebuilt with architecture that mixed human and alien styles. Enhanced humans worked alongside normal humans, and even some aliens, building something entirely new. The Terran Republic invites all species to join us as equals, Song announced. We've learned from your technology, improved it, made it better. We're willing to share it with anyone who understands that real strength comes from cooperation, not domination. She looked around the chamber at the former rulers of half the galaxy. You made one critical mistake 23 years ago, You thought that defeating us meant destroying us. But humans don't break. We adapt. We evolve. We become whatever we need to become to survive. The chamber was completely silent now. You taught us to be predators. Now we're teaching you to be prey. The only question is whether you're smart enough to learn from the experience. And in the vast network of human-controlled systems spanning the galaxy, enhanced humans continued their work, not as conquerors, but as gardeners, planting the seeds of a civilization that would never again underestimate the children of Earth.